Alright, so in today's video, I'm showing you a really cool setup I built inside HighLevel. So the goal was simple. Every incoming call gets automatically transcribed, summarized, and dropped straight into the contact notes. No more relying on sales reps to manually write notes because let's be honest, they either forget or rush it, and when that happens, things get messy fast. So quick side note, yes, GoHighLevel has built-in transcription, but if you're handling a lot of calls, it gets really expensive real quick. So instead, we use Deepgram, so it does the job just as well, and it's about 3 to 4 times cheaper. So same result, way lower cost. Alright, so here's how the whole thing works right now. So whenever a call comes in from one of our sub-accounts, our sales team handles it for us. So nothing fancy there. They just take the call like normal. Now here's where it gets interesting. So as soon as the call ends, that's when the automation kicks in. So we grab the call recording and send it over to Deepgram so to get it fully transcribed. So now we've turned that entire conversation into a clean text. So from there, we pass that transcription into a ChatGPT summarizer, and once that summary is ready, we automatically push it straight into the context notes section inside of HighLevel. Alright, so we're inside the contact section in GoHighLevel right now. So if you look right in here, so as you can see over here that you see the notes section. So this is where the magic happens. So every time the call ends, a full summary automatically gets dropped in here. So, and it's structured too, which is the best part. So we've got a call summary, we also got key points, and we got like outcome over here, and next step in here, and so on and so forth. So instead of like messy random notes, so everything is clean, organized, and instantly available inside the contact record. So before further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, so first things first is we need a Deepgram account. So the good news is that it's free to get started. So when you sign up, they actually give you $200 in free credits. So you can run plenty of transcriptions before ever paying $1. So it's also pay as you go. So no minimums, no contracts, no credit card required upfront. So you can literally test the whole setup without any risk, which is perfect when you're building automations like this. So once you log in, this is what the dashboard looks like. So first thing you're going to do is to create your API key. So what we need to do right now is we're going to click this in here, and then we're going to name this as, let's say, detail transcript. And then from here, we're going to set this as expiration as never, and then we're going to click on create API key. All right, so this is what the workflow looks like right now. And honestly, it's pretty simple. We're only using a few actions here, so nothing crazy, nothing overly complicated, just a clean, straightforward flow that gets the job done in here. Right, so at the top right here, so we've got our triggers, and we're using call status as the trigger. So that's what kicks everything off. And right now I'm going to show you exactly how to add this in step by step so you can set up the same way. Okay, so all you need to do is click the add button over here, and then we're gonna click on the add trigger. So from here, we're gonna choose the call details. So now what we want is pretty simple. We want every call from our sub account to enter this workflow. So we're selecting both incoming and outgoing calls. So that way, no matter who started the call, it gets pulled into the workflow and processed automatically. So we're gonna add the filter in here, and then we're gonna add call direction. We're gonna say incoming, and we're gonna click on save. And also we're gonna add another one for the outgoing call. So as you can see here, call direction, and then like outgoing, and then we're gonna click on save trigger again. All right, so once that's set up, we move to the next step. So currently I've added this wait 5 minutes over here. So, and the reason for that is simple. Sometimes inside HighLevel, there's a slight delay before the call recording URL gets added to the contact record. So instead of rushing the automation and risking it missing the recording link, we just give it a few minutes to breathe. And also one more thing, I've added enabled the drip mode here as well. So that just makes sure each contact gets processed one at a time in the right order. So nothing overlaps, nothing glitches out, and every call gets handled properly before the next one moves through. So quick side note before we move on. So we created a custom field to store the call recording URL or call duration. So we're going to use that later to filter the calls. So basically, we only want to transcribe the calls that are longer than 1 minute. So if it's under a minute, it's usually a missed call or a quick hang up, right? So, but if it's over a minute, so that's likely a real conversation, and that's what we want to process. So this step just helps us avoid wasting credits on junk calls and keeps us the automation efficient. Alright, so here's how you add the phone call duration custom values. So all you need to do is click on this tag icon over here, and then scroll down where it says phone call in here. And then from here, as you can see here it is, phone call duration. So once you click this up, so it's going to automatically populate this in here, just the same as this one in here, which is like the dynamic variable. And also one more thing about the custom field. So we created it as numeric field, not a text field. And there's a reason for that. So inside HighLevel, if you want to use if-else condition, by the way, so with operators like greater than, less than, and equal to. So it only works properly if the field is numeric or like a number. So since we want to check if the call duration is greater than 1 minute, So it has to be a number. So if it was just a text field, so the condition wouldn't work the way we wanted. All right, so here's what I mean. So inside of the workflow, so we added an if else condition in here. So for the condition, we selected the call duration custom field. So the numeric one, the one that we created earlier, and then we set the operator to like greater than over here and 60 seconds, which is basically the same as 1 minute. So here's what happens if the call duration is greater than 60 seconds. So the context move forward in the yes branch, and that's where we process the transcription and summary. So if it's less than 60 seconds, it just stops here. All right, so once the call passes through the 60-second filter, so this is where we connect to Deepgram. So we use a custom webhook action inside GoHighLevel, and this is basically where we send an HTTP request to Deepgram's API. So here's how we set it up. So first is the method is post over here, so as you can see over here. Then we paste the Deepgram endpoint URL right here. So this is the API endpoint they provide. Next, we configure the headers. So we add authorization and then like the content type. So for authorization, so the value is token, and then like as you can see over here, the Deepgram API key. So paste your actual Deepgram API key in here. So then the content type, we set this as application like JSON. So now inside the body, this is where we pass the call recording URL from HighLevel. So we grab the recording URL field and insert it dynamically right here in the JSON body. Right, so basically all you need to do is click on custom values and then click on where it says message and then message attachment. So as you can see over here, so here's how you like drag and drop the variable for the URL. And that way, when the webhook runs, it sends the actual call recording link to Deepgram, and Deepgram transcribes that specific call automatically. So after we send the request to Deepgram, we add a custom code action inside the workflow. And the purpose of this step is simple. So Deepgram doesn't just send back plain text, it sends back a full JSON response with a lot of data inside it. But we don't need all of that. We only want one thing, the actual transcript text. So in this one in here, the custom code step, we grab the webhook response, then parse it, and we extract only the transcript from the results section. At the end of this code, it returns just the transcript as clean text. So now instead of a big JSON response, we have one simple output, the full transcript of the call, and that's what we're going to use in the next step to generate the summary. Alright, so once we have the full transcription from Deepgram, so the next step is using the ChatGPT action inside HighLevel. So we pass this transcript into the ChatGPT and tell it to summarize the call. And from there, so it generates a structured summary for us. So it lays out the main summary of the conversation, and then it pulls out the key points as well. So instead of just having a long wall of text from transcript, we now have something clean, organized, and easy to read. And as you can see here at the end of the prompt, we have this transcript variable. So what we did is grab the transcript output from the custom code step earlier, then we pass that dynamic value directly into the ChatGPT action. So basically, whatever transcript Deepgram generates, we automatically feed that exact text into the summarizer. So no copying, no manual steps in here. So yeah. Alright, so here's basically the final step of the workflow right now. So we added this action in here for notes in our workflow. So for you to be able to like add a notes action, is go to in here, add, and then click on action, and then note in here. So as you can see over here. And then what we did is I pulled the data or like the response from the ChatGPT that we have, or like the summarizer, and then feed that data into our note section. So it's gonna automatically populate everything in here. So for you to be able to do it is click on this custom values in here, and then click on where it says GPT, and then response. So once we add those values into the action, so that's it. So HighLevel will automatically take the summary from the ChatGPT and populate it inside the contact note section. So every time a call is processed, you can just open the contact record, go to notes, and you'll see the full call summary sitting right here.